On va y aller.
Vas-y.
Hello, 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 everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. We are now live on YouTube. I see that there are a few people arriving. There's already 10 of us. I hope you can hear well. The sound is okay. If someone is hearing me and he can use the live chat to Peter, thank you. Hi, Peter. How are you doing? Can you hear me well, Peter? Can you hear in Holland? I'm expecting Stefanos. Stefanos is here. Admit, t'avais une waiting room. Stefanos. Hello, Stefanos.
Hello, Zanir.
How are you doing, Stefanos?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Good, good. Meta in Slovenia has just mentioned that she can hear us. So if she can hear in Slovenia, I'm sure in Holland they can hear as well. And in Greece, you can hear very well as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You appear on two screens, Stefanos. You will see that. You will. You are appearing on the screen behind me if you look at the YouTube. So. Hello, Switzerland can hear as well. Very good. So we are now live in Holland, in Slovenia, in Switzerland, and in Greece, which is very good.
Zanir, I think you have to close the voice from the Zoom.
Yeah, we will see that in a minute. Henri, can you close the
son Zoom, mais comment il va t'entendre?
Yeah, but you will not hear me anymore. We have a special setup today because we want to use YouTube so that we can record and then put on our channel on the Echo channel. But and so we are not using today the system we used the last time. We could have done, but we use another format. Today, we're going to be talking about the missions and partners of ECHO and the way we are structured and how we operate and what's our actions and objectives, because a lot of people are not fully aware of what we do and what we aim at doing. But before this, and this is the reason why, before we start, this is the reason why I've got Stefanos with me live from Greece on another screen. We will have a few words about our dear friend Michalis Tsoukias, who unfortunately, as most of you know, passed away a year ago. So I leave the floor to Stefanos so that he presents a few words to all of you before we get going. And then we'll watch a little video that I will send to you. Stefanos, the floor is yours, and I hope everyone can hear you well. Stefanos? Can you hear me, Stefanos? T'as coupé quelque chose, Henri?
No.
Stefanos, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, you're in. You can go ahead, Stefanos.
Okay. It's not. We don't hear double the voice now. It's okay, yeah? Because it was a problem with your voice before.
I think everyone. Peter, can you hear Stefanos on your side? Meta, can you hear Stefanos when he speaks?
Okay. Hello to everyone. It's something difficult for me to describe Michalis, but it was many years that I was with him, more than 20 years. He was not just a partner.
Stefan,
He was a friend. He was a father. Michalis was a climber of international renown, an architect who didn't use his knowledge only to his architectural designs, but also in his professional activities and in the sector issues where he was involved. He had the ability to design and
continue.
He had the ability to design and build a project from the beginning until the end. He was a visionary and a generous leader in offering his knowledge, sharing his ideas, and most of all, devoting great amount of his time to public issues. In Greece, he was the one who designed the training program for the Mountaineering Federation and brought the outdoor activities. For us here in Europe at Ecoe, it was he who inspired a small group at the beginning to start design, joint training and certification at European level of animators at leisure activities. In a European level, he tried, and I think that we are the people that who have to continue that. Continue all these huge projects that he had in his mind. We cannot forget him. We cannot forget Michalis. We will remember him forever, and we will continue with all this work with the passion that he inspired us. There are 3 minutes of a video that we will see.
Thank you very much, Stefanos. There is a little delay between when you talk and the fact that we hear, but it's fine. Stefanos has prepared a video for you to get to know Michalis a bit better. I'm sending you this video now. There is a link. I'm just sending you through the live chat, through the little thing on the side. You will see that there is a YouTube video, so we're going to be watching this video together. Can everybody see the link on the side of the in the live chat? Ladislav, Catherine, maybe you can send me a little feedback if you can, and we will watch this video together now. In Ireland, can you see the video as well? Okay, we will launch the video and watch it together. Ah, il faut que je quitte le site web.
Non. Toi.
Ah, yes, ok. Comment je fais pour le regarder alors? Ça va quitter le site web?
On va juste le mettre sur mon téléphone.
Mhm.
Je mets pas le son parce que ça va.
Ouais. Okay. I don't put the sound on because of the noise. Alors, ça ne marche pas très bien. Pourquoi j'ai pas de son sur ton téléphone?
Parce que c'est dans mon casque.
Bah,
Ça va
mets-le.
être le bordel s'ils ont.
Ah non. I didn't know he'd been to Antarctica.
It was the first Greek mission.
Thank you very much, Stefanos. Okay, I've got feedback that quite a few of you have finished now with the video. I'm sure that some of you knew Michaelis, but of course a lot of you didn't know Michaelis, and so it's a very good opportunity to get to understand a bit more about his life and his action in Greece and beyond. We personally, I mean, we had a lot of opportunities to get to hear about his stories, and it was the Irish Association is thanking us. Thank you very much. I'm glad that it's a bit difficult to organize this event, but everyone has the opportunity to watch it. Stefanos, thank you very much for this reminder and the thoughts that you bring for Michaelis. And I can assure you that we will continue to do what the ideas that he developed, and we will work on this in Greece, in Europe, and in the coming years. And that's the important issue. Thank you very much. You can stay online if you want, or you can go back to the YouTube if you wish. And I will now continue with the webinar itself, which is as mentioned. So okay, Stefanos is gone. I think Henry will help me with this. We will remove. Very good. So today we want to talk about the mission and the partners and the what is ECHO, because there are a lot of organizations at European level or at national levels, and when you operate a business in the outdoors which doesn't have a very strong and long history of unions and action at European level, sometimes it's difficult to understand. Some sectors have got a very long history. I'm thinking of metal, car manufacturing, or craft, wood carpenters, house builders. They've had guilds, they've had craft organizations, whatever you want to call them. They've had houses on the main square in Belgium or in Paris or in Budapest. I'm sure that there is guild houses. The outdoors, we haven't had guilds. And ECHO has been the first organization to attempt the representation of the whole of the outdoor sector since the outdoor developed as a sector in the 80s. And so, of course, we don't have a culture we don't have a syndicate, a union, a representativeness culture. We are a group of companies, small companies. What's more, we don't have. We are not Vauxhall or Total or Toyota or these big or Bouygues or these big building companies. No, we are the average companies in Europe for the outdoors, whether it's in Ireland or in Slovenia or in France, is 2, 3, 4 people. I mean, 10 employees in an outdoor company is big company. So we are small companies. We are scattered throughout our member states or our countries. One is in the mountain, one is by the sea, one is lost in the middle of nowhere, and it's difficult to gather and to get together and to unite. So that's the objective, but it's not obvious to understand what our mission is. ECHO's mission at EU level, because our mission is at EU level, in a lot of member states, in Ireland, in Switzerland, in Greece, or others, there are national organizations. At EU level, our mission is to determine and organize the outdoor economic sector. Alors, we don't pretend that we represent the great outdoors. Our aim, first of all, and to understand clearly, is to represent and defend the interests of small and medium companies, because that's the key, the bulk of our sector, as an economic sector, which means, for instance, immediately that Boy Scouts, for instance, Boy Scouts are part of the great outdoors. It's an outdoor activity. We don't represent Boy Scouts. ECHO, because Boy Scouts don't do economics. They don't have a turnover. Their ambition is not to make money, is not to trade, is not to sell a service. And so our ambition is to represent people, companies, self-employed or bigger companies or small companies that trade, that have got an economic impact, and that's an economic sector. The concept of sector in European and even in national laws or economic rules is a sector is something is a group of companies that produce economic income. So again, we don't represent not-for-profit. We don't represent volunteers, people who act for. No, we would represent companies with employees who pay tax, who make a turnover. So that's very important. Every time we have an ECHO meeting, those in the room, the people we speak for, the people we defend, are people who are trading, who are making business in the outdoors. That's the economic sector. And our role, the definition of what they do, is people who safely manage experiences in outdoor activities or preserved environments. That and the idea is that we deliver services that meet or exceed our clients' expectations and potential for enjoyment, learning, or personal development. So that's what we do and who we represent. Now we've got, of course, we've got actions and or mission, whatever you want to call them. There are three key levels of intervention. The first one is everything that's got to do with consultation and policy making. As I've said many times in European meetings, a sector that doesn't organize itself gets organized. And we have two choices. Either we organize ourselves in different fields and issues, like training, like fiscal, like safety, like whatever you want. You know, the topics are endless. Either we organize ourselves or someone will organize us. It's true at European level, but it's also true at national level. If the Irish Association of Adventure Tourism does not organize the outdoors, the sector, the economic sector, at national level, someone in Ireland will do it for you. A president, a prime minister, a deputy, a member of parliament, a senator, a group of someone will say, hang on, there's something wrong there. I'm going to take a law. I'm going to do something. If the outdoors doesn't get organized by ATEOA in Greece, someone in Greece, some politician, one day will wake up and will think, oh, there is a problem in the outdoors because of this and that. I'm going to convince people to take a law or to take a bill and organize it. So the policy-making issues, this first field of policy-making issue is very important because, again, if we don't do it, someone will do it for us, and we don't want that. The second group of actions is what we will call structural and institutional development. So it's creating tools, workspace, we could call it, where we can express ourselves. So it's for us as an organization to create these spaces. We have created some, and I will detail that in a few minutes, but there are still a lot to continue to develop over the coming years. And of course, the third aspect of our actions is internal and members' relationships. Relationships with national members, with private organizations, with companies that may have got specific issues, problems, difficulties, and it's for us to maintain a relationship with these members to bring answers or to communicate with the EU. I've used in France with the France Plein Air and before with SNELM, but with France Plein Air now, the members and partners and the expression a union like ECHO, a syndicate, whatever you want to call it, like ECHO, the confederation, like ECHO, and even the national organizations. We are a lift. We bring ideas up from the members and from the companies. to the EU, and we bring information and laws from the EU down to the members. So it's by constantly doing this up and down movement that we can feed companies with the right information, with the right solution to their problems, with the right rules, with the right documents, and by bringing ground information to the EU, that we fulfill our job, our actions, or our mission. So that's terribly important to understand that we are, of course, we don't trade. We're not here to make it to organize a purchase of or groups or promote. We're here to be facilitators, to bring info up and down. Now, in the first field, okay, 3 fields: policy making, institutional development, and members' relationship. So in the first fields, consultation, of course, one of our key role is the representation of the outdoor sector at European level. It means defining the profession in line with the sector's political and economical interests. So that's where we feed the spirit of who we are and what you do on the ground, companies do. Of course, one of another action is to participate in certain working groups, assisting meetings or answering consultations. So that means being involved in world, but mainly EU institutional policy making process, and all the policy making that impacts the sector. That can be, for instance, with the EU Commission. That can be with members of Parliament, and we have intervened on different occasions and different topics with different working groups at EU level to orientate, to pass a message from the outdoors and to transfer the way we see things. And that's actually why it's important that we organize surveys or meetings or exchange, so that we can bring info from the ground and we can bring this to the EU. Of course, at this first level, there is a third aspect that is quite important, is to ensure contact with neighbor sectors. It can be for different reasons. It can be either because an economic sector wants to talk for us or wants to claim that they represent us. It's happened in the past on many occasions with the sports sector. The sports sector representing professional athletes like football players or basketball players or etc. They are not outdoors, but on different occasions, the sport economic sector has been wanting to talk on our behalf and to say, oh yes, we represent the outdoors. No, they don't represent the outdoors. So we need to maintain a relationship with the sports sector, not to be nasty with them, but to make sure that we know what they do and be careful of the positions that they take, because their interest is not necessarily our interest. On another aspect of these contacts and relationships with neighbor sectors, we have a very good relationship with the fitness sector, because the fitness sector, like us, is service orientated. It's representing companies that do turnover. And we actually have even created an alliance with the fitness sector that we call the active leisure being composed of fitness and the outdoors, to have more strength, and because their interests, their objectives, and the members they defend are in a very similar position as our members, it makes our voice stronger, because we maintain a very strong relationship with them, and we associate. And as I said, we've even developed an alliance And for instance, if we can't go to a meeting and the fitness is there, they may be talking on our behalf and vice versa. Now, of course, there are sectors with whom we have very little relationship. The butcher sector or the baker sector, wow, we've never really met with anyone from the bakery sector because we don't share anything. But in any case, there are these two sectors, fitness and sport, are neighbors. There could be other sectors that I'm thinking of, for instance, on social sectors, because they organize things in the outdoors. So in any case, our role is also to keep an eye on the different sectors, economic sectors, either because they may invade our space, and we don't want that, or because they may defend ideas that are of interest to us, and we want to join them on their actions. Another aspect is regulating authorities, intervening with regulating authorities at EU level is important, because regulating authorities may be wanting to create norms or standards, and of course we want the legislation to be adequate, to be in line with our requirements, and limited to what is necessary. We had sorry, we've seen it in certain member states. After accidents, for instance, the national authorities or the local authorities may overreact and take bills or laws that are going beyond what is necessary and is interfering with the action of the outdoor economic sector. But it's not necessarily on direct issues. We were invited, I was participating a few weeks ago in Greece, online, but with Stefanos invited me to join them on an issue with aliens, meals, windmills that are impacting the environment, and of course that is impacting tourism. And this is typically the consequences of a decision that's been taken by the regulating authority to allow windmills in the outdoors. It is impacting the outdoors, and if we or they can interfere with the lawmaker, of course it makes it easier, because you can influence the decision. So again, and keeping in line and in contact with regulating authorities is key action of ECHO. We also want to wind firms. Thank you, Stefanos. Yes. Another aspect is the enforcement of the directives. And of course, one of them is key to us is Directive 2005/36, which is what is called the PQD, the Professional Qualification Directive, which concerns the recognition of qualifications by the member states. And of course, we want to promote mobility of outdoor professionals and ensure mutual recognition of qualifications, so that when a Swiss ski instructor comes to France, he's not kicked out. When a Dutch rafter comes to France, he's not, and some of you know what I mean, he's not in a bad position. Or when a Czech company goes to work in Italy, there is no problem. We know there are problems, and we know that sometimes the member states do not want to respect this directive or other directives that are in the interest of the outdoors. And of course, it is for us to intervene with the Commission to say, hello, there is a problem between Germany and Austria, and the Germans can go and teach skiing or kayak in Austria, and that's wrong. So that's another aspect. Of course, we want to facilitate professional and social networking across EU member states. So there is, a concept of developing business contacts. So we are in touch with organizations and to make sure that there is a strong contact that companies may need. And when they ask their national organization, "Oh, I need a contact in Czech Republic or in Estonia," we can help the Spanish to make contact with the Estonians or vice versa. So that's one of our roles also at EU level in this first aspect of things in the policy making issues, as I mentioned before. And then, of course, there is promoting the sector activities participation, which means that if we can organize campaigns to promote and or ways, I mean, it's not necessarily campaigns on the radio or on TV because we don't have the budget for this, but anything that we can do to encourage people to use outdoor services and outdoor providers, of course, that's what we will try to do. And then, last but not least, elaborating and participating in European-funded projects. Projects are very important because they look into one aspect of things and try to develop a common vision between the different stakeholders. So it is always and we are regularly involved in different projects, and that's a key issue. So this first level, consultation and policy making issues, as I said, and to sum it up, representing the outdoor sector at European level, participating in EU dedicated working groups, keep contact with the neighbor sectors, contact with the regulating authorities. We don't want someone to take a law that we don't agree with or that is against our advantage, against our positions. Proper enforcement of the directives that concern us, professional and social network, sectors activities participation, promotion, and European funded project. So these are the key actions and the key objectives of ECHO in the concept of consultation and policy making. The second level that I mentioned, which is structural and institutional development, what is it? It's where we create tools that are for the benefit of the outdoors. So there are different topics. Normally, these tools or these spaces, these workspaces, are linked to a particular topic. Alors, we'll take them as they come. One of the first ones, and an important one, is what we call Sector Skills Alliance, the Active Leisure Sector Skills Alliance. What is the Sector Skills Alliance? It's a working group where we invite different people. We actually do this alongside with the fitness. I mentioned it before. And the idea of this working space is to address skills and qualification issues and to evaluate pretty much constantly gaps and mismatch and try to act accordingly to feed national organizations or educational bodies on what the requirements are at EU level. As you may know, I'm going to take the concept of, for instance, in canoe and kayak, the subsector canoe kayak has been selling in the 60s, the 70s, canoe kayak. Well, and then suddenly rafting arrived. Now, can a canoe kayak person immediately be a good rafter? Probably, but probably it requires some adjustments, some training to adapt from canoe kayak, which was the only activity, to rafting. More recently, we had in the winter activities, we had the arrival of snowboarding. Can a ski instructor become immediately a snowboard instructor? Probably not. he will need to adapt. So if the demand starts growing on snowboarding and the trade, the sector only offers ski instructors, we've got a problem. And so it's for us as a sector to say, we see what happens in the companies, and snowboarding has developed. Today, maybe it's fat bikes. Fat bike is a particular activity. 10 years ago, there was no fat bikes. You can name every year, there is a new activity in the outdoors that comes out. And it's for us to identify, and for us also as a sector to advise training providers, regulators, member states, national organization, and to say, be careful, in 1 year time, in 2 years time, we're going to need more, we're going to make sure that our professionals know about this new activity and are trained properly, and that the training includes such and such activity. So that's an important issue. A second issue is social dialogue. In some countries, in some member states, social dialogue does not really exist. In many member states, it does exist. It takes the form of what we call collective bargainings. And it's for us to be part of this, because that's where you negotiate and you discuss with the employees on the conditions of employment. And it is important that we participate when these happen at European level. We have been very active in social dialogue in the last few years. It was combined with the sports sector, so it was sometimes a bit difficult because, but Herman did a very good job with Cliff Collins from the fitness sector. But yet again, that's where we will negotiate adequate conditions of work when we can do so. And that's another working tool. Another one is a sector observatory. So it's a place where you establish statistics, so that, you know, if you want to make policies and you don't have statistics, you don't make politics. And that's the problem today for a lot of governments, is that they don't really have the big data, where others like the Facebook, the GAFA, or the GAFAMAs have got the big data, and they can make they can see the future because they've got data. For us as a sector, we don't really have a sector observatory. We have developed some knowledge through various European projects. But we could, if we had more funds and more people involved, we could develop an observatory that gives information and statistics and these sort of things. Of course, another issue is the training standards. We have actually, this is a field in which in the sector observatory we have not been very active. On the contrary, in training standards, we have established training standards. That's another aspect of our structural and institutional development. Training standards are important because they can relate to safety, to training, to education. And it's important that we have a common vision of what a good animator should be in kayak, in climbing, in skiing, in rafting, in scuba diving, in anywhere. We have developed some standards. There are many more standards to develop. That's the future. We will continue working on this, but it's a long process. And, we've only been active as a sector for maybe 20, 25 years. Those who've got many standards have been active for 150 years as a trade, as a sector. We are still a young sector. Of course, another one is Register of Professionals and EU professional cards. Register of Professionals is a very important working space or tool, because together with Sector Observatory, it's a place where you can gather information about how people are trained, at what level they are trained, what their competencies are, what their learning outcome they have acquired, and you can assess the quality of the training and the qualification of a sector. So it's a very important tool. We don't have as such a register of professionals yet. Maybe one day we will, and I hope so. But it requires a lot of work, effort, coordination between the training providers, development of a tool, an online tool, of course. So of course, accreditation of training providers, that can be a role that we want to have. Training providers can come up with all sorts of trainings and programs, and are they coherent? Do they correspond to the standards that the profession would want? That's another working tool. Validating certification is another aspect. And for instance, these we address accreditation of training providers, validating of certification. This is typically things that we address through European projects. One of the latest one has been set up pushed by Greece on these sort of issues. So that's an aspect. And then there are two more working spaces. One is risk assessment. That's an issue that is very important in the outdoors, safety and security and risk assessment, methodologies, promoting results on risk assessment, and making sure that there is a harmonization and a correspondence with existing national legislation when it does. So that's another aspect. We have been involved in this for the Commission in a project organized by DG Sanco, DG Health of Consumers, a few years back. And then finally, as a working tool, intellectual property rights, which as we develop standards, norms, recommendations, we want to make sure that other people either deteriorate these standards or use these standards without our permission. So that's another aspect. So as you can see, apart from the consultation and policy making issues, the first group, the second group, structural and institutional development, includes quite many topics that we have addressed, that we address, or that we should address. But again, we need more people, more funds, more time, and that's where everybody is welcome to work in commissions, in groups, and the dynamics of the outdoors in Europe will depend if we can investigate all these levels, all these working spaces, sector skills alliance, social dialogue, sector observatory, training standards, register of professionals, accreditation, validation of qualification, risk assessment, and intellectual property rights. So as you can see, if you are interested to work at EU level for the profession, the topics, we don't miss topics. So if you are interested in one of them, please make yourself known and you can participate. Very often, again, these are addressed through European projects, but they're also addressed through visits in Brussels, participation in meetings, and Herman, being next to Brussels, is involved in this quite a lot. I've been involved in the last few years quite a lot in some of these issues as well. And tomorrow, some of you will say, "Oh, that's a topic I'm really interested in, and I want to." Well, please go ahead. Finally, the last space, or the last is internal and members relationship. So, as you can see, there is the big picture, then the structure, but that's external. And internally, what is our role? What is our commitment? Well, it's of course a web and paper documentation. So we want to make sure that we inform our members on the latest and historical sectoral developments and general data. So we try to keep a website updated with information that you can consult, or that you can send us information if you've got relevant and pertinent information. Sometimes it's quite interesting. They can be published in different language, but sometimes certain countries have addressed issues that other member states have not addressed because they didn't feel the need for it. But it's important that we, as an EU organization, we maintain this information. Of course, we do, and we want to continue creating and managing and participating in professional annual events. Some annual events are important, and we must be aware. Of course, this brings business opportunities and international contacts for members potentially. You all know the in your different subsectors the key the key annual events, and it's important that we participate when we can travel. Furthermore, there is the aspect of international collaborations, the exchange of views, good practice, coordination on international sectoral issues. That's to the benefit of our members, and we want to make sure that we develop an international awareness of economic opportunities and strategies. So it means reading and analyzing documents, and again trying to pass these through our website. It's a very long and tedious job, but we try to do this. Of course, we assist our members in the realization of their objectives. Sometimes sometimes regularly, we get phone calls from anywhere in Europe, from Belgium, from Switzerland, from Portugal. More recently, I made an intervention for a group of mountain guides in Portugal, or in Spain, or in Italy, or wherever. Is to help outdoor companies to develop their economic activities and trading opportunities. It's not always easy. People don't necessarily know what happens in other member states. There is all sorts of questions. We are here to offer a juridical and advising assistance, and that's part, of course, on European issues. That's part of our role. And then finally, in this aspect of things with members, assisting local key stakeholders in negotiating with their national, regional, or local authorities. One very important aspect is that as an organization, ECHO does not interfere with the national level unless we are asked to do it. If we are not asked to go to intervene in Ireland about any topic that is of concern in Ireland, let's take insurance, for instance, we will not go and deal with insurance in Ireland. If the members or the organization in Ireland says, could you come and participate in a meeting because it would give strength to our position, we will do so. But our role is primarily to intervene at EU level. We are available, but only on demand, and we would not act either by letters or by meetings unless we're being asked by the national or the regional level if there is no national representation. So this is what we do, and I will finish with this for today. There may be a few questions. As you can see, there are these 3 levels that are of importance. 2 that are sort of outgoing, consultation, policy making, we could sum it up, and institutional development, the toolbox with all the tools, and then, of course, internal and members' relationships. As you can see, and these topics are not specific to the outdoors. I don't know, I take any one of them, register of professional, or something like a sector observatory. Car manufacturers have got an observatory body. Theater, butchers, I'm talking a lot about butchers today. What other jobs are there? Woodworkers, they've got an observatory. And all these topics are not strictly specific to the outdoors. They are more specific to a professional economic sector, which we are. And we need to continue working in these different areas and different environments to defend your interest. But as you can see, if we don't have feedback, if we don't have companies becoming member, raising questions, and participating, it's difficult. We are not a rich sector. You all know that as company owners, you don't turn over millions of euros. You don't make millions of profit. I don't think anybody today has got a house in God knows where with swimming pools. Or we are not a rich sector. We deal with people in boats, on skis, climbing, scuba diving. I've never seen anyone becoming a millionaire in the outdoor sector. But we have fun, we meet people, and we have a very good human relationship. So, and I believe it's what you are after. Nevertheless, this means that we need people to become involved. So, if you fancy participating, you are more than welcome. That will be me for today. Caving. Oh, I forgot caving, of course. Oh, Paolo, I haven't seen you for a while. Paolo, you are here. Of course, caving is a very important issue. So much so, if you discover it, you will see that it's very specific. And Paolo made me discover caving a while ago, and it was one of the experience of a lifetime. That will be me for today. And us for today. I hope that you get a good picture of what we try to do at ECHO, what you can be involved in if you are interested, and we need to continue this. I'm going to make sure that there is a drive in this in the next 3 years and more. But I've been elected for 3 years, so we will be working on this in the coming years. I'm thanking you a lot for participating today. This will be online, so if you've got friends or colleagues that want to watch it, the link to this recording YouTube session will be sent to you. Thank you, Stefanos, for your kind words. We will meet next month. We have another webinar, and I don't remember on the top of my head. I think it's about qualifications. So anyway, you will receive a link, and we will meet again for another hours, for 1 hour, to pass on information about the qualifications. Take care as well. Ladislav, thank you too. Thank you all. And I'll see you in a month's time. And have a wonderful evening, and see you next month. Bye-bye.